It's Saturday, and I'm in my PJs, in bed, lounging about. And it's the afternoon, because I have a lot of time on my hands ever since my wife told me she wanted a divorce and I moved out. So when I get this text from my friend Vasu, if I want to shoot hoops, my immediate response is, yeah. And it's actually our first time playing basketball together. So when we're at the court, we decide to take it a little bit easy and not do something too strenuous because I'm recovering from an injury. We decide to each try to shoot as many free throws in a row as possible. And Vasu goes first, and he's this scrawny Indian dude who's deceptively good at basketball. He's at the free throw line, and he's swishing it left and right. He's got a sweet jumper. It's swish, swish, swish. Before I know it, he's hit 11 shots in a row before missing the 12th. And then it's my turn. And I'm thinking, thank God we are not competing. But I think of myself as a semi-decent basketball player. So I tell Vasu, hey, Vasu, I'm going to try to hit 7 shots in a row because I think I can shoot better than Shaq. And I start out confident. You know, it's a beautiful day out. It's good to be socializing with a friend. I'm enjoying focusing on the physical activity of making baskets instead of agonizing over my divorce and replaying all the mistakes I've made. And I start out pretty well, relaxed. So I'm switching a couple, I'm missing a couple, and it starts over. And 15 minutes pass, and I'm realizing maybe I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm starting to get a little bit worried. Vasu was gracious enough to invite me out, and I do not want to monopolize all of our time. So I'm thinking, things are not going my way. I've had a crappy couple of months. What's another day? So after the first air ball, the second air ball, the third air ball, I pass the ball to Vasu, and I say, hey, my shot's not falling. Why don't you take another turn? And Vasu, he surprises me. He passes the ball back to me, and he goes, Steven, you said you'd hit 7 shots in a row today? You were going to hit 7 shots in a row. And I'm going to help you until the sun goes down. And he points to the sky and says, it's still light out. I'm like, okay. And I keep trying. And 45 more minutes pass, and it is still not happening. I'm sweaty. My hands are dirty. I'm making adjustments in between every shot, sometimes 2 dribbles, sometimes 3 dribbles, putting my fingers on the crease, putting my fingertips between the crease, and it's not happening. I'm inconsistent. I am all over the place. And I'm wondering, maybe it's not meant to be. Some things just don't work out. Not everybody can shoot 7 baskets in a row on a given day. That doesn't mean I'm a bad basketball player, right? To make matters worse, about half hour later, these kids come onto our court. And they're elementary school kids with no sense of organization. It's complete chaos. They're shooting when I'm shooting. They're taking the rebound from Vasu. They're taking the ball from my hand before I'm even shooting. And I am frustrated. We live in a society. There are rules. But I let it go because they're kids and they're just out here having fun. And eventually they tire themselves out and they peace out. And it's just me, Vasu, and the basketball. At this point, it's been 2 hours. I'm exhausted. My back is aching. My legs are cramping a little. I am ready to call it. I'm thinking, what kind of person cannot hit 7 shots in a row after 2 hours? I've passed the bar. I did half of my high school in France. I used to be a computer programmer. How is this so hard? I'm wondering, is this beyond my ability? I've already failed at my marriage. Is this something I'm supposed to fail at too? And just as I'm about to call it quits, I look at Vasu, and he's underneath the net. He's serene, relaxed, with a smile on his face. And after every rebound and pass to me, he's telling me, Steven, you got this. And I'm catching it, and I'm shooting. He's rebounding and passing. I'm catching and shooting. And each time I'm going, I got this. I got this. I got this. And before I know it, I've hit 5 shots in a row. 5 shots. I am so close. I can see that the end is in sight. I can feel it. Just 2 more shots before I reach my goal, and I do not want to start over. So before I get too much in my head, I take 2 dribbles and I let it fly. And as it leaves my fingertips, I can see it's a little bit off center. And when it's in the air, I am imploring the universe to please, please, I need this. I'm bending my body. I'm using my mental facilities trying to will it in. And somehow it goes in. I don't know how, but it goes in. So now I'm at 6 baskets in a row. I've just got 1 more. And it's completely quiet. Vasu and I are trying to stay cool, even though we're both very tense. We're trying not to imbue the air with too much pressure. I'm trying to think that this is my first shot, trying to stay relaxed. So I take my time, perhaps too much time, and before I get too much into my head, again, I take 2 dribbles and I shoot. And because my last shot almost missed, and because my legs are tired, I put a little extra oomph in the ball. And when it's in the air, I know it's going to hit the back rim. And when the ball hits the back rim, there are a few options. It can go straight down, which would be amazing. It could brick out, which would suck because I do not want to be here for another 2 hours. Or in my case, it bounces straight up, and while it's in the air, I brace myself for disappointment because that's the kind of year I've had. When I see and hear the ball drop straight down through the hoop and swish. Yeah. And I feel this sense of relief just spread over all my body. I run to Vasu and I go, yeah! And I'm jumping up and down. We're hugging, we're high-fiving. I am raising my arms to the sky. I am celebrating like I've won the NBA championships. And I'm sure everyone else in the park is looking at me and thinking, dude, you just hit a few free throws. I mean, those are gimmies, basically. But in that moment, on that day, where I was in my life, those baskets meant a lot. It was a moment of joy and confidence in an otherwise shitty year. It was a spark of happiness that I was responsible for. And I didn't know it at the time, but my body needed moments like that to feel happy and to know that I could be happy without her. And thinking back, that moment was a step in my realizing that life goes on and that even after such a personal rejection, I could be okay. And I am okay now, and I'm proud to be here telling my story. Yeah.